Welcome to Pastor's Chat. Today we're going to finish Colossians chapter 3. We've been talking about in this chapter the duties of the believer who wants to give Christ preeminence in his life. I want to read the last verses 22 through 25 as we conclude this chapter. And so he speaks now of the duties of a bondservant. Bondservants, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters, not by way of eye service as people pleasers, but with sincerity of heart, fearing the Lord. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. For the wrongdoer must be paid back for the wrong he has done, and there is no partiality. Wow, these are wonderful verses to help us understand not only are we to give Christ the preeminence in our personal purity in the first part of the chapter. We're not to be involved in immorality, sexual immorality, malice and anger and all those crazy things. No. We in our personal inward lives give Christ the preeminence. That is, we put off the old man, we put on the new. We not only give Christ the preeminence in our personal lives, we give it in our Christian fellowship. That is so important with one another in the church, with other disciples of Christ. And then third, in the family, as we discussed yesterday. In the family, Christ has the preeminence. Fathers, wives, children, we give Christ the preeminence, and I can tell you we can enjoy heaven on earth instead of hell on earth, because that's what a lot of homes are if they don't give Christ the preeminence. And then lastly, he's talking about our daily work. Now, in Paul's day, half the world probably were called slaves. They were enslaved. A terrible tyranny of slavery, something that, thank God, is not basically as it was in those days. Yes, in some ways it still appears in other ways, in other forms, but it's still wrong. And that's why I love the last verse of this chapter. God will make every person accountable for how he treats anyone, whether he's an employee or an employer. And so that's what he's saying. So if you're an employee, he says you do the best you can and you do it heartily as to the Lord. You're serving the Lord Christ. If you are a follower of Jesus Christ, no matter what your vocation is, no matter what your job might be, you have to remind yourself, no matter how your boss is treating you, how mean he is, how cruel he might be or she is, you are serving the Lord Christ. And you don't do what you do as a men pleaser, people are watching you, so when people are watching, you work real hard, but when the boss isn't watching and others aren't watching, you go slack. No, you remember the Lord is watching you at all times. I'll never forget reading a wonderful book years ago about Christian discipleship, and this lady was asked by a visiting pastor, well, what do you do? And she responded, I am a disciple of Jesus Christ, cleverly disguised as a machine operator down at the factory. Oh, I love that answer. I never forgot it. I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ, cleverly disguised as a machine operator. Boy, she had it right. She knew she was serving Christ as a machine operator. Her job was only the means of supporting her ministry. And my friend, that's what your vocation is. It's the means of supporting your ministry. Your ministry to your family and your ministry to the Lord's church, and to gathering a group of people from all over the world one day to worship the Lord Jesus Christ. So it says, whatever you do it heartily, you do it sincerely, you do it from the heart, not half-heartedly, and you do it for the Lord. And you realize one day God's keeping the records and you'll receive your reward from Him. And at the same time, employers, you treat your employees correctly and right. You do what's right and best for them because God's watching you too. And so you don't try just to make more money and you exploit your workers. God help you. And I'm telling you, there's no partiality with God. So we're going to all give an account one day before the Lord. And so He has these last words for us in our duties before the Lord. If Christ is supreme, if He is preeminent in our lives, we live and serve the Lord Jesus Christ in whatever we do, and we do it with all of our heart. God bless and have a wonderful, wonderful day.